Warning! This video contains adult content not suitable for children.
What's up, it's Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and as always, I'm joined by...
I'm Jordan Bell. Today we have a special guest, owner of the Lucky Raven Tattoo Parlor, or should I say parlor? Lucky Raven
Lounge.
Tattoo Lounge.
I love the lounge better.
Yep.
This is Devon Wooldridge.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, he's here. We got him in here. We've been working on this. We've been trying to get you
working
in
on it for
here.
a couple weeks now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited.
Kim keeps dropping hints like you should come on the podcast.
Well, she was like, I'm in there getting my hair cut, and Kim's like, hey, you should have Devon on the podcast. And I'm like, who's Devon? Because I had never met you yet. And she's like, Devon, he's tattoos here. I'm like, oh cool. Dates Nicole, and I'm like, oh cool. I'm like, all right, cool. He seems like I already like him. Let's get him in there.
Let's go. Let's go.
And we love having people who are creative, and obviously you're an artist, dude.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about Lucky Raven. Tell us about your art.
Okay.
Just to give anyone who's watching
what got you here?
a little bit of background on you.
Well, Kokomo, what got me to Kokomo was a guy I worked with in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So we worked at a shop down in Fountain Square, and his best friend was Jerry Frost, who owns New Breed over at Markland.
Baller.
And we were both leaving the shop at the same time, and he was like, well, I'm going to go here, but I know a guy up in Kokomo. And I'd never been, the only thing I knew about Kokomo was stoplights and strip clubs.
Yes.
Basically.
So I came up, did the interview, got the job, and then I worked at New Breed for a good solid 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I've known Lindsay and Dustin Ogle for years.
Yep.
And they'd been trying to get me to come work with them for a good couple of years.
Trying to poach you.
Pretty much. Yeah, and it was one of those, they had the basement opened up, they were like, oh, come here, we should do something together. And I was like, for sure, let's do it. Of course, Dustin says, well, do a business plan. Yeah, no.
No, I'm not doing that.
No. So that did not work out for me at all.
Yeah.
So I ended up backing out of that, and then thankfully I was on a camping trip, and one of the employees that I worked there before had the back room that I work in now.
Yeah.
She left, and Lindsay reached out, and she's like, hey, we got the back room, do you want it? Thankfully I was like enough beers into the afternoon to where I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
And I just have this irritating level of integrity to where if I say I'm going to do something,
Gotta do it.
even when I sober up, I'm like, this is probably not a smart idea with a newborn and a brand new job. I'm like, nah, I'm committed now.
That's actually really good. That's really good to have, because I don't know how many people have committed to a tattoo and then not wanted to do it, and then they've fallen
all
out
the
of it. So
time.
you actually are one of those people that actually if you were committing to it, I'm gonna stick to it.
All the time. Like
Yeah.
my first tattoo, which is the funny part when I have clients that it's very rare, but I'll have people, like I'll tell them, like, oh, it'll be 3 months before I can get you in, and they're like, I don't want to wait 3 months. My first tattoo was a little star on my hip. I waited 7 months for that thing.
Yeah.
Happily, with no issue, because I was like, oh, it's cool. That's what you got to do.
Gives me time.
Yeah. Now, granted, I did go back to the shop every single day and looking, see if he was busy.
Yeah.
But that's what got me into tattooing. Was I never thought of it as a profession. Like I always wanted a tattoo, loved the art, but never thought of it as like, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. Because I wanted to join the Air Force, like my dad.
Yeah.
Like did ROTC, had my pilot's license, all that stuff, like ready to go. Got a tattoo. Stopped gun school.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can see the trajectory. I mean, you look like you could be a pretty good pilot out there.
Yeah. I'm short.
Yeah.
Got some good eyesight.
Yeah.
Slight
See,
build.
I don't have that eyesight thing.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I'm killed with the eyesight too. Horrible eyes. So
Well, he's Army. And I
Yep.
was Navy.
Yeah.
And you have an Air Force background, so
Yeah.
just got to get a Marine here to pick on.
I'll just throw one in here, grab some crayons.
Yeah,
I'll be fine.
that's all. I knew as soon as you said
You already
the
gave me a
crayons, he
chair,
knows. Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
we gave you a
good.
chair. Yeah. Sorry, it seems always gets people, so be careful. I'm gonna figure out a new table here because this is pretty sharp.
Yeah,
This reminds you.
well, eventually we will get a new.
I'm gonna get new chairs.
Little bit new setup.
We're already gonna do it. I'm excited to get new chairs because we need them.
By the way, send us your tax money.
Yeah.
I mean, support the podcast.
Yeah, do that.
Thank
That'd be
you.
fun. Or send him your tax. Send him your tax money.
Either
Get some
or.
new art.
We'll
That's
take
awesome.
all of that.
Either or.
This is a big timer when people get their tax money.
We call it Taxmas.
Taxmas.
Tax.
Because Christmas is normally pretty slow for us because everybody's spending their money on other people and this, that, and the other.
You might get a gift card there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which, gift cards are cool. We do sell a lot of them, but I don't get that money until way further down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taxmas is where we make the majority of our money in the year.
Yeah.
Because
That makes
everybody's
sense.
got a bunch of free money. Last year was great because everybody had stimulus checks hit in January, and then tax hit. So it was just continued on.
So take that money for the tattoo, set it aside, and then come in like November.
And just remember that, good things take time. So,
Yeah,
like,
this is true.
When you're asking, hey, why is it taking 3-4 months?
I think it's scary. It's scary if you go into a tattoo parlor or a tattoo lounge, or you go somewhere to get a tattoo, and they're like, "Hey, can I get a tattoo?" Yeah, come on in. And you're like, "Hold on, what am I doing?"
Yeah.
It's scary a little bit to me.
I don't know, man. I have kind of like a dive right in kind of like personality, anyways. 'Cause, like, if I was just to do it, all right, let's go.
For sure.
I also have some really bad tattoos, but I mean, they're mine.
Yeah, they're mine now.
They're with me forever. Oh, we all do.
Yeah.
But
My first tattoo I actually got in Italy when I was in the Navy.
Really?
Yeah, I had it's like a little cross thing.
Yeah.
My friend always calls me, "What do you think of Justin Timberlake?" Because it's like a
Like,
nail
maybe I do.
cross.
He was a heartthrob.
Yeah,
It's
real.
real.
Who cares? I love Justin.
Sex eye.
JT is the shit.
JT.
Yeah, you
Let's
are.
be real.
Yeah, I was like JT. Oh yeah, middle name.
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I got mine there in Italy. It was like a tattoo convention I went to. And I was like, I know I want to get a tattoo. I don't have to go try to find someone. I don't know where I'm going in Italy. I don't speak the language. You know what I mean? You're trying to find somebody, and I'm like, I want to get one. I'm here in the Navy. And then I went and got it done, and boom. And then I went actually to Newbury to get the one I have here. Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember the guy's name who did it, but he was really nice. But he kind of seemed scared to do it.
Yeah.
Like we'd set up. It had been a month in advance or longer, and we got there, and he did the outline, and he was like, I don't know about this other thing you want. I'm like, don't do it, dude. I'll just take the outline. That's fine. I was like, I'll figure it out later on if I got to figure something out. But he seemed like he was a real nice guy. He just seemed unsure, and his like being unsure was like, I'm not
For sure. Yeah.
My first tattoo was in some dude's kitchen.
I love those stories. Those are my favorite stories.
No lie. So like, I'm just happy I didn't get hepatitis.
Yeah.
For the win. So,
Well, there's
like,
a cure.
I got a bad
There's a
tattoo.
cure.
There's a cure for that.
Sorry.
There's a cure now.
Yeah.
You're good.
Huh?
There's a cure for hepatitis,
Fucking sweet.
Yes. So you can talk about how you have it, and we can get you fixed up.
But I don't have it. I got lucky.
Yeah. So yours was in a kitchen.
missed
Mine
it.
was at a tattoo convention. Like kind of spurred of the moment. Of course, he's the tattoo artist. He took 7 months to get the hit.
Yeah, I like
Very
patiently
well.
waited.
Yeah.
I love
It makes
it.
sense.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're all on the different spectrums of.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So you guys got together. You guys got the. So now are you like honestly hindsight's 2020? Are you
for sure.
so happy that?
Oh
you
my
did it
god,
now?
yes. Yeah, I mean, don't remember, I loved working at New Breed.
Yeah.
It's great guys. Jerry
Yeah.
Frost is awesome. I worked there for a really long time. But for me, it was, even when I first started, I wanted just a studio.
Yeah.
It's just me and my clients, and that's it. Like, even now, like, eventually we'll probably expand to something bigger, get some more people in. Mm-hmm. But honestly, for right now, I'm completely comfortable with just going to work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
awesome.
So like, the setup that you have in your little lounge, like it really is like lounge because like I came in, I saw you work on Kim and things like that. You feel really comfortable in there, and like you're surrounded by just like one artwork that you've done, and then just abstract. Just random pieces.
Oh yeah, I refer to it as
stuff.
Satan's
So,
Cracker
like,
Barrel.
Yeah, I like it. So
There's
like,
just taxidermy everywhere and weird art, bondage stuff on the walls.
it's honestly, it's kind of like it's kind of chill. I fuck with the vibe.
It works.
So.
The Lucky Raven concept to me sounds very like almost like a little shop, like a little tiny shop where you're going to get weird oddities and stuff.
The funny part about that name was it literally just came from me being tired of picking a name. Because I never thought how difficult it would be. Like, you think, like, oh, I'm going to open a shop. Naming it should be super easy. It'd be like, Valhalla. And then I'm like, and you think of hindsight, and you're like, you print cards, and you're like, man, that looks fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it finally, because I wanted to call it Lucky Magpie. But not, like, almost no one in the United States know what a magpie bird is. And the fact that one of them is actually very unlucky.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a weird, cool, hipster, ironic thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody's know what the fuck this means. Going to think it's like a pie shop.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, ravens are close to it, so I'll just do that. And ravens are dark and edgy, and it works.
People love ravens. There's a whole. I mean, there's a whole entire, Edgar Allan Poe thing you got going on. And then remember Raven from wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah. Huge Raven fan. So.
Yeah. You were a huge Raven fan?
Yeah.
You seem like you would love Raven. It's like a little emo guy.
Little Scotty, man.
Yeah. Did he wear like a skirt?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
he was
kind of
cool.
weird.
Yeah, I like that though. I mean, the idea. I think Lucky Raven in general is a good. I like that.
Yeah.
New breed is. That's not my favorite name of a tattoo shop ever.
Sure,
To be honest.
sure.
It's a really. Weird,
It really sounds like a wrestling faction or a wrestling
does.
pay-per-view.
Or it sounds like a white supremacist group. No offense, I'm not saying that's what you are, obviously. But when you're like, yeah, we're part of New Breed, like we're gonna take over this town.
Look, at least that sounds harder than Proud Boys.
Oh yeah. Well, Proud Boys was a joke. That was
Hey, they're proud. They're proud and they are boys.
Look,
I listened to your entire podcast with Messi, and the entire time I was just sitting on the edge of my seat, like I just want to interject. You know what? You ever listen to a podcast? You're like, I know about this. I want to tell you guys.
I know the incel part. My bad.
Oh yeah, the incel. You didn't say incel.
You
guys are like,
hindsight.
one of those kind of guys that don't get laid, and I'm like, it's incelibate. That's involuntary celibate.
Yeah. Incels.
Yeah, I threw that on there, and I was like, I just gotta shut up. I don't know why I do this every week to Jesse. I just forced it. He went on a podcast with a guy named Messi. His name's Jesse, but he goes by Messi Gravis, which is hilarious.
Fair.
And it's a fun little. It's like a lot of wrestling, a lot of goofy stuff. He just brings up random factoids. It's awesome.
We just did I don't know, it was like a 30-minute podcast, really short. We just talked about a lot of stuff really fast. So.
Oh, it was quick. It was
Just like burning through it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it though. You guys were fun. It really was fun. The whole time I was like, he was talking about the Gavin McGinnis guy he was a comedian, and then he was like, he's the father of hipsterdom. He was the first hipster.
Oh.
He was a punk originally, and then he became the godfather of hipsterdom. He was like one of the first guys in New York that was wearing all that. He actually
was a hipster before it was cool.
Yeah, he was the original hipster. He was a co-founder of Vice.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Vice magazine. And
Oh, no
Vice.
shit.
He was a co-founder.
Oh.
Co-founder. But then he wrote a thing about some type of thing that pissed everybody off, and then he got bought out, and then he's still considered a co-founder, but like he's not part of the company anymore. Then he went and started his own thing. But he was an original. He was like a punk guy, like a punk rocker. Then he became a hipster, and then he became like a comedian, and he did all this shit. And then the Proud Boy thing, like he said, it all came from like a joke where it's like there's like a big like what is it where the Broadway performance where they're proud of your boy. It all came from that, and he was making fun of one of the guys, one of the interns, like being like, "You never get laid. You're just like a proud boy walking around. I'm proud of my boy." He's like, "Once you get laid," so he makes this up and then comes up with all these stupid things where like you have to. In order to become part of the group, you have to get a tattoo, and then that's the first section. Then the next one is everybody in the group punches you as hard as they can until you can name 5 breakfast cereals. It's all stupid shit. It was all a joke, and then some people took it and turned it into something different. And then he was like, "I didn't mean for that," and they were like, "No, you're because he said some inflammatory shit." They all just added it all together. And it got real weird, you know what I mean? Like you started getting to the point where these guys are showing up to rallies to beat people up, and it's like,
I don't know. I openly talk about starting a cult, so one day this is gonna happen to me. So I can't wait.
I mean, honestly,
yeah,
cults don't work out very well in the end.
Yeah,
but I have to give it to a cult leader that and most of them, not someone you would normally listen to. Like it's the crazy dude down the street, but like you look at him 20 years later, and there's like 30 women that are married to him, and he's got billions of dollars and lives on a plantation somewhere in the South, and he's like, "Yep, this is I'm the king of all of this, and I'm God now."
Look, that's my goal, to eventually own a plantation where.
Hey, you know what? I mean, honestly, though,
he said it.
Yes.
But the shirt you're wearing, that's a perfect shirt.
It is.
Do you know the part where there's a scene in it's a Shroot Farm shirt? There's a scene where what's the old guy from that show's called? What's his name? I can't remember his name. Creed, yeah. Where he's like, I love Colt. He's like, you have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
It's 100%.
That's
100%.
I love it.
Oh God, I was listening to this podcast, and all they do is talk about like cryptids, murder, cults, that kind of stuff, and it's some of the if you really. No one should ever dive that deep into cults. No one should ever know that much.
Because then you start getting appealing, doesn't it?
A little, yeah. I mean, you think about it, you just find some people that are easily convinced to tell them some shit that they are going to believe. Most of the American people in 2022.
I'm going to sit over here while they judge me real fast.
So there's no judgment here. I'm there's the most amount of respect, because if you pull it off, honestly, I will have to high five you and run very quickly before I get stuck.
High five you unless.
No, it's cool.
Before
it would be a whole get out situation.
We can put you we can give you a title. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Like one of the inner circle.
Yeah.
That's the Joe Rogan joke where it's like they're in a cult and a religion is in the religion that guy's dead.
Yeah.
He's already dead. So in the
100%.
cult, he's like, I'm part of it.
It's like the prequel.
Yeah, it's the prequel to
Yeah.
it, and then it becomes a religion, and that's like all of Scientology now.
Basically.
That guy was literally a writer for like science fiction. And
Literally, it's like
and then wrote
nothing
some-
different than like Lovecraft.
Well, yeah, exactly.
The idea, he's not even who started the actual thought of Scientology. He's just
No, he
based
just
off
took
of a lot
it.
of his shit.
Yeah,
right?
like he took it from the guy that he was. Was it? I want to say it's not eugenics whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like it's a self-help situation.
Yeah.
Based on like
Secret?
math. Yeah.
It's the secret.
100%.
It is.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, he just took all that writing. It's like it'd be no different if you took like somebody just took Stephen King's writing, and be like, you know what, all of this is the whole Dark Tower series is all real,
It's real.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100% real.
Absolutely.
and we're gonna base religion on. I mean, Mormonism is a great example of that situation where it's a con man said,
But at
"I
least
found
that
these
was
plates."
long enough ago. I mean, this guy, we have pictures of this guy.
Well, 100%. Yeah.
the Scientology guy, what's his name? L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron
Yeah,
Hubbard.
they have pictures of him in
Yeah.
like a fake Navy suit with like
Oh my god,
badges and
the
stuff,
L. Ron
right?
Hubbard yachts though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Everybody's wearing the same matching uniforms.
Yeah.
It's a crew. Just
He was just a religious Liberace. He was like, "Hey, everybody, let's get together. Let's put on fancy outfits and
Follow me."
Yeah, follow me. Tom Cruise, come on.
oh, as soon as you got Tom Cruise, you got Mission Impossible. You're fine.
Yeah, he's perfect. I mean, yacht cruise. What else can you?
100%.
It goes. It all makes sense.
Just add Oprah and like
Yeah.
I think you're made.
Yeah, you gotta get Oprah or Lizzo, one of the two.
Yeah.
Oprah, like some bathing in children's blood.
Yeah.
Throw that in there. You'll be
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
Or at least like pseudo bathing. Like we're gonna fake like there's a kid in here, but really it's just ice cream. But everybody just gets down
I
with
mean,
it.
it's mostly actors, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. As long as they're a part of it, you can be like, it's just
It's a
disbelief,
prop.
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
We're all
yeah,
good.
exactly.
Speaking of the cults and stuff, like we've all seen the new Batman, right?
No.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
We're not going to spoil anything,
I'm going
but
next
that
week.
it's got such a great vibe to it. Did you enjoy it?
I have not.
You haven't seen it?
it.
I'm the only one that saw it.
Yeah, you're the only one seen it, man.
I'm the coolest one here. I guess.
I'm super excited though. I was
Yeah.
not super excited when I saw it was gonna be Robert Pattinson until like
Yeah.
actually saw scene pictures and watched the trailer, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, this honestly could be
The tone's perfect.
might top out Christian Bale.
Yeah, I think Christian Bale. It's the funny thing is how different the performances are of like Christian Bale. I think is always going to be like a really great Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
His Bruce Wayne was my favorite, and I still think he might be my favorite Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of argument against Christian Bale Batman, but I don't know.
It's hard to know. You haven't seen the new one yet. I don't think it becomes the best Batman. I still think the Dark Knight's the best Batman, but that's because of Heath Ledger. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger killed that shit.
One, I just liked how dark it went because if you read the actual comic books, Batman's dark as shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the darkest Batman.
That's awesome.
By far.
I'm super
Like,
excited.
I don't even know how to explain it other than like it's the tone of it is so. It's neo noir. It's basically like an old like detective film, but like very. It's like set in like a. It almost feels. This is gonna be weird, but it almost feels like The Watchmen, where like where
okay.
like what the fucking face guy?
Rorschach. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the way he like kind of narrates the whole thing. There's a narration vibe to it. There's a lot of really great things, and there's a lot of after you watch it, you think back to it, and you're like, there's so many things that you're like, I didn't get that, and then you get it later on. And you're like, I can't believe I didn't get that in the moment. But I'm excited about it. And then they did the whole premiere. I watched it. Like I said, I went on Friday.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet. I do plan on seeing it. I've heard kind of mixed things. Like I haven't seen any spoilers or anything. I've just thought this Batman was greatest. You know, a lot of people saying like it is their greatest Batman film now. And then I've saw a couple people that thought it was lame, but that may just be trolls. I don't know.
It's just really long. I think that's why people are like, some people are apprehensive. It's just such a long movie.
Yeah.
It feels like
it's like 3.5 hours, right? So
no, it's just under 3. It's like 250, 255.
That's the other one. Like the movie, or 3-hour movie feels like 4.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
And that movie's it's such a dark movie that you're just like, by the end of it, you're like, it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's not like a Marvel movie where it's 3 hours and there's like explosions and there's so many colors. It's not like that.
I hope there's an intermission at 3.5
Yeah.
hours or 3 hours.
We're just all
I had to pee like
collectively
3
holding
times.
our urine.
Man.
Yeah.
I could. I was like, I was sitting there and I had my soda and I was drinking it and I looked down and I was like, oh no. I looked up and the previews were going. I was like, I'm gonna run. So I went to the first one. I was like, and I've had to still go to the restroom 2 more times.
Oh man, this is what I loved about COVID, and when we got all the premieres of movies at home, and I was just like, I don't have to leave. fucking sweet.
I like the
There's something to be
experience.
said for that, though.
Oh, yeah. I like the experience of going, but I also, like, I think it's much more fun at home.
It really is. Because, like, I got real deeply hardcore into smart houses.
Yeah.
It started with just some cameras, and now it's developed to, like, every light bulb in my house is controlled by my voice.
That's amazing.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah.
It's not as expensive as you'd think it'd be.
Is this Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
It's just all Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's like, literally, it's like I've got an Alexa in almost every single room in my house. My TV is an Alexa, and I can just control everything from my couch. Like, I wake up in the morning and say, Alexa, good morning. She turns my fucking house on. Like, I've literally, like, there's back ways doing it, but I can get it to where it'll turn my Keurig on and, like, make me a cup of coffee with smart plugs.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're living in the future.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Full
I'm
Jetsons.
over here pressing buttons. You're, like, living in the future.
It got to the point where I got so in depth with it that it irritated me going to work and having to turn lights on to where I just brought an Alexa into work and changed all my bulbs to smart bulbs. I get to work in the morning, I say, Alexa, hello, and she turns all my lights on, turns the TV on, puts it on Spotify, starts playing Spotify.
So you go on vacation, and you're like, oh, this is so much work turning off all the
Right?
lights.
It's
Vacation.
honestly, and I'm not proud of it. I know it's a problem. Like, I know it's not something I should share with probably thousands of people, but like, it's a mild
Or you're
addiction.
giving us too much credit.
Well, there are thousands of people on the page, but
But it's gotten to the point where, like, and I keep telling myself, like, I don't need that. I don't need a fire cube. That's...
Why don't you? And no, let me be devil's advocate here. Why don't you need that?
Well, see, that's where I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to
If
treat
you can
myself.
make your life easier, I think that's important.
Now, granted, there are times where I'll be, like, yelling at the Alexa for a good 10 minutes because I refuse to go over to the light switch and turn it on because, damn it, I fucking spent the time. I bought the fucking thing. I plugged it in. I set it up. You were going to register my voice and turn the fucking TV on.
Yeah, that's what I
And
said.
essentially, the light switch is probably already on, right? So, like...
Well, it is. Like, it has backups where, like, if
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi's down, you can just, like, flip the switch. It'll turn on and stuff.
I need to upgrade.
Yeah, I've been looking into this myself because, like, honestly, like at home, it's the light bulb or it's the light switch thing for me. I get tired of like we have lamps that are in like convoluted places, and I'm just
You
like
climb over shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I've been looking into like smart or at least the light bulbs, and then eventually it's gonna spread into all the other shit. So like
honestly, it's really pretty affordable. Like the company I use, you can buy a 3-pack of the bulbs for like $25.
yeah,
It's not bad.
And they last for a good like 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they're voice activated.
Yep, they just like hook up to Alexa, Google, all that stuff.
One of those systems.
Yeah, one of the normal like
Siri?
home assistant
Home.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
you can set up to Siri as well,
Yeah.
and then you have an app on your phone as well to where you can.
See, I thought I was living in the future because I have a little like I bought a remote for like the light for in my bedroom because I cannot stand when I like lay down and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't turn the lights off.
Yeah.
So I bought a little remote system for both of them. So I just and you lose the remote, you're screwed. In your case, you can never
I
lose
just
your
lay, I
voice.
just lay back and just say, Alexa, turn the lights off. She just turns my shit off.
So have you ever like gotten a cough and then it's changed your voice enough that you're like, son of a bitch?
No, she's pretty cool about it. Unless there's like 6 kids in my living room screaming, and I'm like, Alexa, turn the TV on, and it's not doing shit.
yeah.
And then you got to be a Philistine and pick up a remote and hope it'll work. But no, I got actually the biggest thing that honestly, and it was like $60. I got a Goovy light strip. It goes on the back of the TV, and it's one of those reactive lights. It's got a camera that faces the front of your TV, and it reads the colors on the edges of your screen and then mirrors that to the lights in the back. So, like, if you're watching Star Wars and there's a laser goes across the screen, it will flash red across the back of the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
awesome.
you're like, I literally don't want to go to the movie.
Pretty much, like, honestly, at this
yeah.
point, like, I just turn the lights off, I got my sound bar, the Goovy lights, turn everything on, and it's just fucking awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the vibe that I'm trying to get. Like just ultimate in-home theater. Like, yeah.
It just sucks they make us still go there. I like the experience. I honestly like. I'm still their target demographic because I still would like to go. I actually, this is the weirdest. Probably makes me even weirder. From being in the Navy when I lived by myself, I enjoy going to the movie by myself. I don't want anybody with me.
They do that shit all
I don't
the
want
time.
anybody to talk to me. I don't want to have to be like, ha ha ha, that was a good joke. And I'm not trying to watch a fucking movie. Like I don't want to have to do none of that. I'm just
Especially if
trying.
you go on, like, a Monday, there's not a soul in there.
Exactly. You're just sitting there like, this is all for me.
Yeah. That's
This
awesome.
is my theater.
But that's what I did before COVID. I would, like, every Sunday, because I know I don't have my son on Sundays, every Sunday I would just go to the movie theater.
Hell yeah.
Just by myself or with my roommate, would just go there. Middle of the afternoon on Sunday, there's no one fucking there.
hell yeah.
I took my son and his kid, and I regretted every moment of it. I was happy that he went, but he brought his friend with him, and the entire time they're just like playing Minecraft next to him. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, nice.
Like playing Roblox or something on their phone. I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Why are you? This is a movie.
This is a cinema masterpiece.
It wasn't for them. I wanted to go with my girl, but she had to work. And I was like, nah. Or no, she had to watch the kid because we couldn't get a sitter. The grandmas were both busy. How dare they?
Of course.
How
Don't they
dare
understand it's
grandma.
Batman Day?
I know, it's Batman Day. I took a PA. I called it a PA. I was like, I'm not going to work tonight. I'm getting a 3-day weekend.
There you
Like,
go.
Yeah.
So you guys excited for the Jurassic Park?
I think it'll be pretty big. I'm excited about the kind of the fusing of the two franchises.
Bring the old back in.
Yeah, that's why I'm actually more excited about that than anything that's been so far
100%.
with those movies.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely not excited about Jurassic Park.
yeah, you're scared of them.
No, honestly, I just never got into them. Like,
No?
big dinosaurs. Dinosaurs aren't even fully real, man.
Yeah.
They're
Birds, man. They're just birds.
Yeah, birds aren't even real.
Yeah, birds
I mean,
not
they're
real.
part of the bourgeoisie.
I mean, you can see them, but are they there?
I want to say yes, really bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you may also see things that I don't see.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, when you do the whole Alexa thing and it's not working and it drives you crazy, do you just switch over to the other system? Nicole! Hey, Nicole!
The saddest part is like she is that type of person
Yeah.
that if I genuinely said like, babe, can you just turn the lights on? She'd get up with no fucking complaint whatsoever.
That's perfect.
Like
Yeah,
literally,
that's
the only time we argue is like doing tasks for each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do the dishes. No, you worked all day. You sit down. I'll do the dishes. Like,
Yeah.
no, you've had the kids. I'll do the dishes. And then we're just like arguing about who's gonna do a task. But it's super fucking cute.
He's like, we're so cute.
Aww.
It's adorable.
It's adorable. It's probably just not. You're like have
Just
that.
wait 3 years.
It's not
Yeah.
just the honeymoon.
Flash forward.
It's not just the honeymoon, but and no shade, obviously, because we all have exes where you get to the point where you're just like almost like you're together, but you like hate each other. It's like you almost want to be together just so you can ruin their life longer.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I'll
like-
stay with you so you hate your life.
I just want to hurt you
Yeah,
for
just-
longer.
yeah,
in the
let's-
most passive aggressive way possible. I'm gonna snore, but I'm not gonna be asleep. I'm just gonna do it just to irritate, just long enough
Yeah.
to like hit it to like 1:45. Then I'll go to sleep.
And then you'll meet somebody that you don't want that with, and it's just like
Yeah.
everything you do is so sweet.
Oh yeah, we're definitely in that
That's
stage
awesome.
where like we tell each other that we're pretty every day. And, yeah.
I still do that with my girl, and we're about to hit 3 years.
I think it's probably the most important. Like, or obviously, I'm an absolute expert at 29 about relationships.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I feel like that's the way to keep things going is to constantly treat your other half like you're trying to date them.
You have to
Like, you
enjoy
haven't
it.
got them yet.
You have to enjoy your other half.
Yeah.
People don't do that.
Like I feel like
anymore.
it's
They don't.
disrespectful to them if you stop doing that.
Yeah, and you also need a little bit of scarcity because a lot of people they don't get the scarcity part. The thing about wanting something is you have to miss it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And a lot of people don't miss their significant other, and then they just start to hate. They start to hate each other because really they're just become a chore just as much as anything else in life.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing that like I love is like being able to like just spend time with Kim because like just that in itself is a scarcity because we're both like
Exactly.
full-time working
When you're
That's why
busy.
you enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
so like it's that missing thing
Yeah.
which is
You
great,
long
so,
for it. It's
yeah.
that longing. It's that missing. It's that like I posted a picture of my girl the other day. I was like, my best friend's working tonight. I miss you, best friend. Because honestly, that's how I felt. I was literally
Sure.
sitting there in the moment. I was like, you know what? I should share this with the world, and mostly her, but like with the world. I need people to know that I miss you today because I did an entire Pokemon tournament. Got fourth, by the way. Tied for fourth.
Nice.
Good shit. Yeah, I didn't do bad. I got a half a box of Pokemon cards. Wasn't bad.
There you go.
One loss to a guy from Lafayette. He kicked my ass. But I did the whole Pokemon tournament 6 hours, and I get done, and I'm like, damn, my son's friends over. They're hanging out, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm so bored. I just want to hang out with my girlfriend right now. I just want to do something with her.
Yeah.
And she's at work all night, just killing herself. She's so good. She's so good at what she does. That like she's a waitress at Texas Little Roadhouse.
Oh.
At the Texas Little Roadhouse. It's like she just get out there killing it. So but we all have working women though. That's also part of it. We all have women that work.
Which honestly, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that about just that drive to want to succeed.
a partner.
100%. And don't get me wrong, like my mom was a stay-at-home mom, like raised me.
Yeah.
My best friend, like I have the utmost respect for stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, no shade.
But it's one of those like, there's something about a career-driven woman that just wants more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like is proud of what they do, proud of their success, doesn't give a shit about anybody else's opinions on it, and like wants to succeed.
absolutely.
There's something so admirable about that.
It doesn't seed that like almost there's like a distrust that gets seeded when you're like the bread. Like not, I say breadwinner because that's like the old way, but like when they're not working and you're the like working, or they're underemployed and they're not working as much as they want to, and then they feel like they owe you something, but they don't want to feel like that. So it like breeds resentment, and then it creates an entire like issue. So I think having a busy woman and a busy man, like two people that are busy, it creates that longing for each other, but it also creates like you don't have that codependency.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. When you are together, you're so happy, and then when you're apart, you're like, I miss you, but I'm also busy. I got shit I got to do. Yeah. People lose their friends, their relationships. Those are the weirdest people to me, because when you lose your friend to a relationship, when you lose your friend's relationship, it becomes like your like I said, it's that codependency. Yeah. And so I feel like if you gotta have a good, healthy balance. But I think at some point, if you don't think like at least once a week, like, man, I miss my girl, like, then I feel like you probably need to work harder.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, where did that go?
Yeah.
Because, like, you obviously at some point, like, really liked her.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, everybody gets comfortable over time. But,
oh, yeah.
But you have to tinge that comfortability with, like, being comfortable to just sit together.
Yeah.
But when you stop, like, giving a shit if they're there, well, you're just fucking roommates at that point.
Exactly. And you want to be comfortable in some things, and then some things you want to be uncomfortable.
Like, honey, I want to miss you, but I want to be able to shit in front of you.
Exactly. That's what I love about that. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. I think that's the best way to describe it. I want to be able to take a shit in front of you, but also later on I want to be like, man, I miss my girl.
You know, like, I work with mine. Like, she's my assistant.
Yeah.
And it works out really well, though, because I'm in my room most time. Because in mine, it's like, it's appointment only. You come in, doors closed, I don't answer the phone, I don't take consultations. So when you come in, it's your time.
Yeah.
It's like, you're paying me, this is your time, you can watch whatever you want on the TV, you can listen to whatever music you want to listen to, we can talk about bullshit for hours at a time.
Yeah.
But it's your time.
Yeah.
So I don't see her for, like, great swaths in the day, like we're, like, two ships meeting in the middle of the night at work. But it works out.
Yeah.
And most of the time people, you know, everyone always says, never work with your partner.
Yeah.
And most of the time that's fantastic to live by.
Yeah.
But for us, it just kind of works out to where we see each other just enough to where, like, we don't text each other during the day.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you fucking did.
Some quick route. Yeah.
Yeah. But we can still, at the end of the day, see each other enough to where I can ask her, like, how was your day? And she can tell me stuff I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, because the front of that house, that's Fade Salon. The front of that house is all women fighting. Brent's over in the corner like, oh, shit.
He'll forever come into my room, and people are like, where's Brent at? It's like, he's in my room.
He just needed a break.
I told him one time I was going to build him a panic room, like, under my desk. And he just, like, climb in there, just Brent's room, like, have a little TV where there's just fishing and basketball playing, and just leave him to it.
Sometimes that's the spot. I'll walk into Fade and, like, just to see Kim, but, like, really, I'm just like, man, where's Brent at? Like, usually he's in his room. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Like, where's Brent at? And that basement part they just built up. They built one of those what are those 8 anger rooms? He's just down there breaking shit. Like, I'm so sick of all the drama.
Oh my god.
Oh man, it's just a bunch of women in a room, and it's nothing against women because I obviously it's a great shop. I go there to get my haircut. Yeah. I love going in there, and I like going in there and shooting the shit with Kim because she's fun to goof off with and joke about. And I love the women that are always so sweet and everything. There's nobody's ever mean to me, but it's just the infighting always happens. It's inevitable.
I think that's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You know, that happens at
for
our
sure.
place of employment. So
I found working with dudes are bitchier though.
Oh, you think so?
Because I worked with only men for all my
sense.
tattoo career up until moving over to Fade, and then I worked with predominantly women and just Brent.
Yeah.
And like the dynamic between the two, like everybody fights. There's always some beef between one person and another, but it's one of those situations like they'll kind of talk about it, but then they immediately confront each other and like get it out. Yeah. Whereas like working with all dudes, like if you're not working today, we're the one talking shit. You're talking shit about you today because you're not here.
That's all that.
And that's how it was with men.
Testosterone.
Because we'll tell ourselves like, I'm not gonna say anything. So I say anything, I'm gonna fight him. Like, I don't want to fight him today, so I'm just not gonna say anything.
And he walks in like, hey man, what's up? We're doing drinks. Do you want to get drinks?
About the time, like 100%. Like, how was your day?
I always said that argument for men though. Like when I was younger, the way women, the dynamic in school of women and men, the men would talk shit, get in a fight, and then immediately they'd become buddies. Whereas the women never got that physical altercations. They just did it behind their backs all day, and then somebody would confront each other, and they would literally just keep talking shit forever. And they would never they'd never squash the beef.
No.
So that was what's always. I think if you bring it out in the open. I always try to bring anything out, any issues I have out in the open so that people know. Even if in the moment I'm like pissed at somebody and I need to vent to somebody else and then calm myself and then have the conversation. I think that's important a lot. But I feel like having the conversation with the person, you have to tell them how you feel.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. You got to be upfront because there's a big separation between sure the people are like, oh, I just say what I think.
Yeah.
And I don't sugarcoat anything. They're like, okay, well, you're an asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's a massive difference between voicing your opinions and then having some type of couth with how you're going to say things.
I try. I'm pretty bad. He's dealt with me. When I'm in a mode,
sure,
I'll say something and I'll be like, I could have said that better if I wasn't in that. You know, you're like.
Well, you're in that mindset.
Yeah, when you're like, I need to get this out because we need to be on the same page. So I have to say what I got to say. But then if I waited a little bit, I could have actually probably worded what I wanted to say.
No, I just say it.
Yeah.
You guys ever do that thing where you argue with yourself when you're by yourself in the car?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're preparing for that fight, so you're just like having
that.
that like she's gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this.
And then you come home and you say it, and they're like, okay, and you're like, well, I had this energy though.
Build
so much energy up. What am I doing?
There's a 45-minute drive.
Sometimes I have
This
to
is not
have
how this
this
ended for me.
Sometimes I have to have those conversations so I know that like
Yeah, I mean,
this
get
is
you.
not how the conversation is gonna go. I'm gonna say this now, and then then it's not. I know it's not gonna go like that, but I've already had the conversation in my head, so it'll just be better now. It's cool.
You prepared yourself for the worst. You prepared yourself for the worst.
Yeah.
And like you never win the argument when you're by yourself.
No.
You always know you're gonna lose.
Yeah. Then you get there and you win, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened here?
You just take that time to win,
was
and you're
right.
like, cool.
My narrative worked?
But then the fear kicks in because you're like, there's no way I should have won this.
Yeah. What did I do? Uh-oh. She's going to leave me.
I'm gonna be
She
alone
already has
again.
plans.
I'm gonna be alone again.
It's Mike from work. And I'm just, I knew it was Mike this whole time.
You said he was her work husband.
My girl's like, every guy she works with is gay. So it's, I mean, and it doesn't bother me either way. But like, all the kitchen guys are straight, but all the guys that are the waiters, they're all like gay guys. And a lot of them, it's almost like, it's worse for her because they're all catty guys. So she's like, my girl has this mentality where she's way more of like a dude
Sure.
bro than she is like a chick.
Yeah.
And like, she was pretty, she looks great, she cleans up, but she goes to work, but she's all about hustling. She just wants to get her tables in and out and, you know, do the best she can do for the table while they're there and then get them in and out. She'll bust her own fucking tables. She has to pay a busser, but she'll bust her own tables to get out of there. But it's just so funny when she comes home and she's like, yeah, this guy said this guy said that. And in my head, I'm like, what guy? Said what? I'm like, oh no, they're all gay.
I'm like, oh, you said that name like 7 times in the last 3 weeks.
Who's DeAndre?
I know him.
Yeah. There's one guy she works with. He's, I'm not going to say his actual name, but I call him Enrique because he's like Hispanic and he's gay and he's like super overly flamboyant. But like, I went in there and he was one of the best waiters I've ever had going in there. Like, he's amazing what he does, but apparently he's like, he knows he's good, so he's like, well, honey, you don't even know, girl. Like, he's like, you just don't get it. I'm a star around here. I'm a superstar.
Cocky.
Yeah. But he's like, it's that gay bravado that you know when you see it, you're like, yeah, I love it. It's like, but I'm like, kill it, bro. Go out there and kill it. Just be nice to my girl. But kill it, bro.
I have a whole wrestling manager character centered kind of around that.
Yeah, flamboyant bravado.
Yeah.
Some of you like have a whole separate voice and everything.
I mean, I try. There's a difference between Jordan and then like, you know, Curator Bell.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
The only problem is sometimes the Curator Bell bleeds into their acting, and I'm like, we gotta get a little bit less the Curator, a little more Jordan Bell.
Bring this back.
Yeah, when we were shooting the skit that's gonna come out this week, and we were doing the thing. You're like, and I'm like, this is the Curator doing this. This is not Jordan. I was like, I need Jordan. To just, it's like you're just setup. We're just having you set up the whole bit. It's pretty funny. I can't wait to get it out. It's what I think we're releasing it this week. So.
Sweet. Cool.
Yeah. We're gonna wait till April, but I think it's nice enough now.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we got other shit coming up in April, so
lots of stuff.
You never know.
Yeah, Brian, I want to shoot the real world skit. I think that'll be fun.
Yes, I like it.
We're gonna do real world Kokomo. Yeah, I know, right?
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, right?
Right.
I think it'll be good. I think people will enjoy it. It's gonna be lit. I need to hear this Hank the Tank thing. It's been on my mind the entire time. We talked about Hank the Tank last week. We can do a little quick overview of what it is.
So Hank the Tank was terrorizing California residents a couple weeks ago, right?
It's a gigantic bear.
They said he was breaking into homes, stealing food, all sorts of stuff. And what I found out that it was all a lie. It was not Hank the Tank. He was wrongly identified.
Oh my god.
It was actually a ring of 3 other bears that lived around the area, and they found this out through DNA evidence.
It was a gang?
Yes!
And you know what? The thing is, Hank the Tank was a black bear, so
I know.
they were trying to blame the black bear.
They're trying to push it.
They were.
It was a polar bear the whole
there's a
time.
governor, like, I have a lot of worried voters. I need an out for this.
They were
Give
worried
me
about this.
the first black bear you find.
So I am very, very happy to be able to report that Hank the Tank has been vindicated. His name is not saturated in the dirt no more. He's a good bear.
He's a big old fluffy bear. He's a gigantic guy.
I just remember seeing the videos, like the videos of people recording him. They're like 6 feet from him. And I'm
Right.
like, that's no.
Yeah, that's a bear. That's a whole ass bear.
That's a whole bear.
Like, that is not Yogi. He's not going to tell you to put your fire out. He will eat your face.
Yeah, I saw the video of Hank the Tank with the LAPD, and they're like, "Stop resisting!" And
Yeah.
beating the shit out of Rodney King style.
I still say if
On the side of a highway.
I still say if Hank the Tank was a gorilla, he probably would have got Harambe'd, but
Oh, he'd already be dead.
Yeah.
There would be RIPs, too soons.
Yeah, that we'd all.
There'd
be
been a
talking
memorial, candlelit.
Yeah, every week we have to talk about an animal doing something wild. Because we talked about a cat a couple weeks ago. We're just like getting on these animal kicks. But I love the Hank the Tank. I want to call him Frank the Tank.
Hank the Tank.
You got that in my head when we were talking about old school Frank. The
Oh,
Tank.
yeah.
Or maybe that was Sean. Sean and Rumple got that.
That was Sean, actually, yeah.
He said Frank the Tank. It reminds me of Frank the Tank. And I'm like, what's that? Oh yeah, old school. Everyone streaking.
Also, if we're on an animal kick, I don't know if anybody's watched Joe versus Carol. But
No,
it good?
honestly, so fucking hyped for that.
No, it's horrible.
Like, I'm not proud that I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I was like, I need to watch this.
So I watched the whole thing, kind of vicariously made Kim watch the whole thing because it was on. And
She enjoyed it. She may have pretended like, what is that? She
oh,
loved
no,
every moment.
she enjoyed it.
They have a female playing Joe, right?
Is it a female?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's.
That's not a guy?
I'm pretty sure she's a she.
Oh, I have to look this up, but nailed it. Like,
Well, they have the girl from SNL playing
Yes.
Carol, right?
Mhm.
What's her name? McKinnon? Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon, yeah.
She's great. I love her.
she's fucking hilarious.
Hi,
throughout
I'm
the whole
Ellen.
thing.
Every time she does Ellen on there, it's so funny.
She's fucking hilarious throughout the whole thing. But I don't know. I thought that was really, really. It was a really funny show. Really bad show. Like,
Are they overacting it like ridiculous? Like they're doing it right. They have
Yeah.
to.
I mean,
That's
if
the
you're
way to
gonna
do
do
it.
Tiger King,
Yeah,
if you're gonna
yeah.
dramatize Tiger King, the documentary itself is already like half of it. You don't think it's fucking real or believe it. So if you're gonna make a dramatic version of it, it has to be the most.
the only thing is they use CGI tigers, which I guess they had to, right?
Some is like sci-fi channel level.
No, I mean,
I'm thinking, I'm imagining like Sharknado
Lisa
level.
Frank tigers?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can tell they're CGI tigers, but
Yeah.
they're like, they kind of look alright.
Yeah.
So
You're like really wanting to enjoy it. You're like, they're alright.
the whole time I was like, man, I really want a murder kitty. Like, I just keep asking Kim if I can get a murder kitty.
She wants a cow. You want a tiger.
Yeah. See, the way I justify this, okay, you get a cow, I get a murder kitty gets fed.
Yeah. Then you lose your milk.
That's the point.
Huh?
Well, you're just getting livestock at that point.
That's good. Then she gets more cows, right?
Just keep reading
100%.
it. She'll come out and run out of names.
100%.
That's okay.
That's Bessie 4.
Look,
It's just
there's no running out of names. Numbers are infinite.
Yeah.
it's true.
Numbers, letters,
Yeah,
whatever.
Kim's got Nicole wanting one of this. She also wants a cow.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She wants a cow, but she also wants a pig, but not like a teacup pig. I wish it was a teacup pig, like a full on like use it as a couch pig.
Yeah, my cousin actually had a pig for a long time, and I think it got too big. I think to the point where she's like, I gotta take him
They're
out.
they're cute.
Yeah,
but,
they are
like,
cute.
They also shit.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
A lot.
That's the only thing I don't want to deal with is like I don't really like to. I don't want to pick up anybody's extra.
Yeah, no,
to be honest,
I literally got an automated litter box, so I didn't have to scoop my
Yeah.
cat litter box. Like it scoops into a little bag.
we have a cat, but it's just not my job to do the litter,
Yeah.
so I don't.
You just
Yeah.
unscoop yourself.
I tell people, hey, the litter needs.
That's
done.
the upside of having
But-
children. Though. It's like you just birth these things into the world, you pay for them, and they do tasks for you.
Well, I mean, they have to. They're the ones that ask for this shit.
You want the animal? You gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
There's some responsibility.
Yeah.
It's I learned when I was a boy.
My son this morning, I got up and I got him all situated. He was watching a movie in his room. I took a shower, got out, came in there, and I was like, I gotta change his diaper. So I went to change his diaper, and she's like, my girl's like, hey, we're gonna get ready to give him a bath. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, I'll just let him free ball.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's walking around, he's doing fine. I'm like laughing because it's a naked baby. Naked baby, and baby butts running around.
Till he pisses
and then he
himself.
sits down like this for a minute. I'm like, he looks like he's gonna take a shit, and then boom.
Yep.
Takes a shit right on the floor.
Nice.
So I was like, "Are you serious, Jordan?" I'm like, "Dude, that was hilarious." That to me is so funny. So she's in there like picking it up like it's an animal, and I'm like, yes.
Get a little
awesome.
baggy.
It wasn't like a wet one, so it was perfect. It was like she picked it right up, cleaned it up a little bit. We're good.
There you go.
I will
But
say
it's
that
like-
though, as a
like
parent,
a
like
shit
that changes you as a human being when you see another human being take a
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
Like you're not the same person after that.
No, you become a whole nother person.
Yeah, there's like a side of you that
You don't see
innocence
that.
is lost.
You do it your whole life, but you never see the act.
Yeah,
Until you
yeah,
watch
yeah.
Two Girls, One Cup. Then you see the act, and you're like, this doesn't look like real shit, does it? This is insane.
Yeah.
How does it keep coming out?
What did they do?
No, that's a cup. What is she doing with the cup? What is she doing?
Yeah, there's a little part of me that died that day.
I
remember that. I'll never forget that
I
day.
think humanity died a little bit.
A little.
Everything was okay.
One man,
until-
one jar, though.
Oh, yeah.
One man, one jar. Like that.
You know what? I didn't fall for that.
No?
No.
You've never seen it?
No, not going to either.
Oh,
Yeah, this
to.
video
I'm
I'm
sorry,
showing
you have
later.
to experience that.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
no.
When the glass breaks.
Like, you're not a millennial unless you've experienced
I'm
that.
good, bro.
When the glass breaks. It's
No.
like, I want to do that video, and
There's
then the
just
glass
so
breaks,
much
and
of
then
it.
Stone Cold.
I think what disturbed me the most was the amount of scarring that was previously present, which is
Oh,
one
yeah,
of those,
it's
like
he's done it before.
like it's not a first timer for him.
No, he's
yeah,
this is-
I'm
that
sure
wasn't
he
like
had
a squat
practice.
broke, and you're like, oh damn, it broke. It was like, oh, you do this.
I'm never doing this. It wasn't I'm never doing this again. It was
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This old hat.
and he's like silent the whole way until like you hear that one guttural grunt,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh, I gotta stop.
I have to get out of here.
This is too much.
I have to call the cops.
I had the same experience with I Spit on Your Grave too. So
Yeah.
Nicole had never seen I Spit on Your Grave. We're huge horror aficionados. So I was like, okay, you can watch this. And I gave her the full, like, trigger warning. Very abrupt, very brutal rape scene in the beginning of this movie. But she gets her whole revenge. It's awesome. Second one, I was like, okay, it's just as bad. It had been a while since I had seen it. To where even I was like... Or no, sorry, I hadn't seen the second one before. So, like, first one I'd seen, hadn't seen the second one. We get to the part and, like, the guy comes out, spoiler warnings, guy comes out with a cattle prod. I'm like, I don't need to see this part.
Yeah, this is
We'll fast forward this part.
Yeah.
And, like, I just watch her, like, rip his face off later.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll watch the revenge. I don't need to see the rest.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
What's the is it the house at the end of the that's the one that has the brutal
Yeah, Last House
scene?
on the Left.
Yeah, that
Yes.
I literally turned that movie off when that happened. I was like, oh, I'm done.
It was like Wrong Turn as
I never
well.
saw it. Maybe that was the one. One of them I saw, and it was just so it was like a group, and it was like, and then the guy, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, it's very brutal.
It's not for me to watch. It's not for me.
I don't do a whole lot of horror shit, but like, I don't know. Yeah, because just
I don't know why that. It's weird. It's a weird trope in horror where it's always there's a lot of them that start like that. Right?
Yeah.
Have a scene
Yeah.
where you're like, man, it's almost like they're like, you have to really hate this guy. Hey, he's killing people. I already hate him. All right.
Yeah, like-
you don't have to make me hate him like viciously. I mean,
Like, you could just smack her around a little bit, and
Yeah.
I will hate him just as much. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do all that. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
We've been storyboarding a new because we had this girl do our CD. I don't know if you might.
Oh, heck yeah.
She's out of Greece and she drew the whole thing for us, and we've been storyboarding that video, which I want you to be the lead in, if
Yeah.
you will. You, not the curator.
Yeah, no, I got you.
You're gonna. I can't wait to tell you all
That's
about
awesome.
it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
ruin too much of it here, but it's this Svengali song, and it's very like it's about controlling. There's a very abuse aspect to it because if you ever heard of the Svengali, the idea of it, it's like it was like a book, and then it became a movie, and then it became an actual like psychological like thing that's brought up in like
Right.
psychology, where it's called a Svengali hold, and it's where somebody feels like they can't be who they are without somebody else. It's like a psychological crutch,
Right.
and it's like they almost have a control over the person. So when we wrote the song, one of the guys in my band loves just sending me this words like, Jordan, this Svengali, think about it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Jordan, fugue state, think about it every time. And that's how he's like
Is
write
he like a
songs.
motivational speaker? Like,
Yeah, he's like,
just do it!
I heard a cool word. Let's figure it out, bro. And I love it. It's Jeremy. He's the best. Yeah, he sent me the Svengali, and I actually loved the idea, but I was like, how am I gonna make this work? And then I wrote the whole song, and I loved it. And then when you talk about like that whole control aspect and taking over, I think there's gonna be a really cool aspect for that for you. And I really want you to. You're gonna be playing the antagonist though, so I was like,
That's
you
fine.
might enjoy it.
Yeah.
You might enjoy it.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm like, I want Jordan to do it, and they're like, yeah, Jordan would be perfect. I'm like,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
I'm down for it.
It's gonna be we're gonna try to do a whole masquerade.
Yeah.
Like a ballroom masquerade type of feel.
Oh, sweet.
It's gonna be a dance number.
Oh,
'Cause there's a
sweet.
waltz in the song.
Dude, I ain't done that in forever.
I know, it's been a minute,
I ain't waltzed in a minute.
Yeah, I ain't waltzed out there. I'm just a crip walk. Crip walking in a walk.
Hey, you know,
We gotta get
maybe-
the behind the
maybe
scenes.
stepping.
Step in the name. We'll just do R. Kelly.
Yes.
the whole time.
Oh, we can't do R. Kelly anymore either.
No.
I mean, I don't know. You know, he threw out some bangers. It makes
He
me
did.
cringe though.
I know. That's that part where, like, I can I just, like, not know anything about your personal life
Yeah.
whatsoever. Just make beautiful music.
I mean, so okay, horrible example, but I'm gonna use it, right? Like, I mean, there's probably some really, really bad, like good tattoo artists out there, right? Like, you can't just rip off the skin, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't do anything. This is a really
Bro,
bad
we've all
example.
seen
I'm gonna
tattoo.
stop
What's
this.
that show? The tattoo Ink Master.
Ink Master, yeah.
I watch clips of that all the time on YouTube because I'm like, I can't. I don't have the attention span for a whole episode, but like clips of it will get me.
It was
It's
the
such a
one
weird-
tattoo show I would actually watch in the first few seasons. Like all the other stuff, like the Miami Ink, LA Ink, I just couldn't get into any of that stuff. But
So it's dramatized. In like
I
a
knew
weird
one of the
way.
guys from Chicago Ink. Yeah.
Of course, you knew somebody from Chicago. This guy,
Yeah.
Kokomo,
Well,
is
you know.
Chicago.
Yeah, you know.
I was just kidding. That's the Kokomo trope.
Yeah. But I don't know. But that's been it. I never really got into those. But
Does it drive you crazy when like a client comes in? They're like, "Yeah, I was watching Ink Master, and I really like American traditional." Or, "Can you do like a new school?" Or
honestly,
does it actually help?
sometimes yes. Sometimes it's super frustrating. The other times it's a lot easier because then somewhat they understand words that I'll use.
Yeah, like the verbiage. It actually brought it to the mainstream.
100%, and that's really like I have to thank the TV shows for even bringing like tattoos would not be as popular as they are today if it was not for putting it in everybody's living room.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
It
I honestly
raised the
too.
stigma. It took the tabooism from it, and it made it to where it was fine for middle American
not just
moms.
not just women and guys that ride Harleys.
100%.
Right.
Because like for a long time it was like sailors, people on Harleys, and then like hooligans and like circus freaks. And that's I mean that in the nicest way. I love
But
circus
it's
freaks.
100%.
you get a lot of people that like they come in like thinking that they know more about you or know more.
That
than
would drive
you
me
do.
crazy.
That
Yes.
would drive
anything.
Yeah, that does happen from time to time. It's one of those things where, like, I've always run by the business plan of customers always right.
Yeah.
Half the time they're not.
Yeah.
And then you just have to tactfully like show them they're not without saying like you're wrong, because nobody likes being told they're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like if someone brings in a picture that I don't think is artistically like good, even in like the slightest.
Yeah.
I have to tactfully make that into like that's cool, but what would be cooler is this. And they're like, make it their idea.
Yeah.
Not in like a manipulative way, but just like I know what I'm going to give you is going to be better than what you brought me, and you're going to be happier. But you're stuck on this because you found this picture, and this is what you want.
Yeah.
Until it's on you, and then it's because that's my whole thing is everybody should get a good tattoo. Anybody that goes to get tattooed should get a good tattoo, no matter where they go. But I want to give you something that people want to stop you to look at it.
Yeah. That's I think that's what most of us would want anyway.
Oh yeah.
You don't get art. You don't get. I don't know anybody who's gotten art like, let me hide this. I mean, I guess if you're like a weirdo on the internet, but I guess like that's the bad part of art. But like when I'm saying like like NFTs, like nobody gets an NFT and doesn't want to show people.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? The whole point is to put it as your profile picture on Twitter and be like, I have an NFT now. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I think art in general. I mean, there are some things obviously you keep to yourself. Some people maybe have like a specific art piece that they have somewhere on their body that's like more hidden that they don't want people to see.
Something a little bit more private.
Yeah,
but it's still one of those things that like art should. I mean, I've always said for years. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm not an artist. I can't draw."
Mm-hmm.
Art isn't being able to draw.
No.
Art isn't being able to sing. Art is if you can get either positive or negative reaction from somebody when they look at your pile of bricks.
Yeah.
You created art.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be. And that's one of the hardest things for a tattoo artist is you have what you want in your head. You know exactly what you want to get tattooed. And you have this vision of it. And sometimes you can bring me a picture or two and you're like, very rarely is it something like, I want this exactly.
Yeah.
It's, I want part of this, and I want part of this, and a part of this. And the crazy thing is I have to read your mind.
Yeah.
Put my own artistic spin on it and to what I think looks good, which may not be the same to someone else.
Yeah.
Present that to someone and say, like, hey, do you agree to be with me forever?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, here's a really great question I've always wondered. Okay, so as a canvas, you have a canvas. I always say canvas because Ink Master made me say canvas.
Oh, yeah.
But you have a person come in, and what's the idealistic scenario for a person coming in with an idea? Do you want them to come in with pictures and say this is kind of what I like, or do you like them to like come in with an idea and say, here's like paint a visual in your head for you to just start from scratch, or do you want like visual aids?
So the ideal would be that you just come in and tell me. Say, like, I want a phoenix.
Yeah.
And you've come to me specifically because you've looked at my art before, you've seen what I do, and you are coming to me because it's me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I just create a phoenix that I think is going to look cool.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be like, that's fucking cool because that's why I came to you.
Yeah.
rarely is that ever the case.
Yeah, that's probably super.
So most of the time, it's easier for me if someone is very open to what they want, and they just bring me like 3 or 4 pictures of what they want. Of like, I like this head, or I like this tail, I like these wings. I want it to look similar to this, and kind of steer me in a direction to where like I'm not pissing in the wind in the dark. That's normally the easiest way of doing it. What is the most difficult is if someone comes in and they're like, I want this.
Specifically this, nothing different.
Just no, and they won't budge. They don't want anything different, which it makes it very difficult because admittedly it takes the joy out of it for me.
Yeah,
I'm doing it and I will do it well because that's my job. But I'm not in it anymore. A part of me isn't in that piece.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So that's where like, because what I specialize in is black gray realism, portraits, realistic work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
To where I enjoy it because it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like tattooing portraits is the scariest experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, because you can actually really mess it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the first portrait I ever did. A client came in, and for the longest time I said, I'm not gonna do portraits. I won't do portraits. They're too hard. If you fuck it up, you're fucked. I won't do it. And it was actually when I started working at Fade, and I'm the only person there. So if I don't do it, I have to send them to someone else.
Right.
So I was like, well, I know I can do it, but I'm not gonna tell her I've never done one.
Yeah. Because
if I tell her, they're not gonna trust me to do it.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna hire a driver like, hey, have you ever driven a McLaren?
No.
Nope. Not gonna let you drive it then.
Yeah.
So I just didn't tell her, and because I knew I could do it. Did the stencil, like, spent probably like 4 hours on like an inch of hair. So I was way too scared to like, you're dipping your toe. I'm not jumping in that pool yet.
Yeah.
So I finally committed, got the eyes, nose, the mouth, everything in there, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, fuck, this is cross-eyed. She's cross-eyed. So I'm like freaking out in my head, like, oh, this is fucked. I don't know what to do now. So I was like, no, I'll just get a little bit of the face, like more of the cheekbone, cheek structure, all that stuff in there. Got that in there. I'm like, okay, she's not cross-eyed. She was just missing all the rest of her anatomy.
That it made it look.
So it made it look really weird to me.
So you had to like kind of change the angle a little, or fix the angle of the face.
Kind of just like create, like add all this structure in there.
Does that all go on in your head as you're doing it? Like shit.
Oh, 100%. Like the whole time, it's like on a roller coaster, like and then I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
I think that's important for people to hear because it actually gives them a context of like you're critiquing yourself as you're drawing.
Oh, 100%.
Because you want somebody to care about what they're doing. Yeah. And if you're doing something like hyper-realistic, like anything like that, it takes a lot of skill and you almost need to be self-critical so that you can fix the mistakes or get to there where there's no mistake at all.
Oh, 100%.
You're just doing it perfect.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask, if you get most tattoo artists or artists in general to be like completely honest with you about how they feel about their work, most of us hate just about everything we've ever done.
Yeah.
And not because it's bad, just because I will only ever see the imperfection.
Oh yeah. You hear that. The weirdest thing about me, like as a vocalist in a band, is when I do something weird and I'm like, I record something and I'm like, I hate that. I want to change it. And then my buddy's Matt's like, I love it. Please don't change it. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I take his word for it. And then like 6 weeks later, I'll be listening to it. And I'm like, it becomes my favorite part.
Yeah.
It's weird how an imperfect thing can be. It almost becomes part of the song. I'm like, I just want to do that in every song now.
Yeah.
I want to do that every time on that song, even though there's one of the songs I have. There's like a little break in my voice that when I did it, I wasn't sure if I liked it, and I wanted to redo it. And Matt was like, I think it's really good. You got to keep it in there. I was like, he's like, I can change it if you want. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And now when I listen to it, I'm like, I'm so glad we kept it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something very important with art where sometimes the imperfections can be what you love about a piece, or that just doing something a little different than what you thought you were going to, and you're like, oh, I did better this time.
Yeah.
Than I thought I was going to do.
Because I'm a massive procrastinator. Like I will like push it way too long. Like it's the morning off. I should have had this done weeks ago. I did not. But honestly, that's when I find like if I try and start a drawing a month, 2 months in advance, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it, I'm like,
I work better under pressure. I don't
Same.
know about you, but
I'm
like
the exact same.
I can know about something that we have going on or something that we're supposed to be doing for weeks, months in advance. But like until it's game time, like I will just have ideas until like it's just go, all right, let's do this, and this is how we're gonna do it. I'm still gonna end up hating it, like you said, or I'm gonna point out something that I fucked up in this or something. But like it works better when it's just go time. So,
100%. Because you know there's no backing out now. Like, like you've got to do this at this point.
Yeah. Especially stage stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's super important with stage stuff because you can account for everything except for adrenaline. adrenaline can impact your performance more than anything else.
Yeah.
You get out there, you're like, I'm ready for this. I know everything. I'm gonna kill this. And then you get out there and you're like, and your nerves go. It's like a cat on their edge, and you're just like, the whole time, and you're like, and then the crowd changes things, who you're around, like your own band. Like for me, like my own band can change things, and for you, like you might get there with a whole stencil that you love, and then a person comes in there like, I don't like this band.
I literally had that happen to me like a week ago.
Is it hard? Is it hard to deal with that, especially if you love the drawing?
There's a little bit, yeah. There's a little bit of part of you that's like, you kind of feel like you're like, oh well, I'm not good.
No,
like I didn't do this.
Yeah,
but it is definitely one of those, like, he envisioned it differently than the way I envisioned it.
Yeah.
Even in the way he described it to me, he told me he wanted it this specific way, and I was like, okay, cool. And then that's how my mind interpreted it, and like fed it onto the paper until he gets there, and there's like the long silence, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I need you to communicate.
Yeah, tell me what you thinking.
Yeah, and it turned out to be like we completely nixed basically the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those situations where I have to tell him, like, okay, I've got to redraw this completely. We're going to have to reschedule. And, like, he'd already waited, like, a month to get in.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of, like, I let you down.
Do you keep a day? Like, I mean, I know that it's, like, hard to do that because it's money, too. Like, and people forget that as much as this is art and it is completely art, there is an aspect of, like, you have to pay your bills, too.
Yeah, it's a living. Yeah, this is the only job I have.
Yeah, so it's like people have to understand that you do have to fill your books up for that reason. And if people are like, well, I'm not going to get in for 3 months, it's because I have to pay my bills. And you're not going to pay for now. You're going to pay when you put a deposit down. Like, you think that $50 are going to mean shit to me, or $100 or whatever the deposit is. I mean, it helps a little bit now. I appreciate that. It helps you secure your spot, and it makes you have some skin in the game, because that's super important, having skin in the game. But yeah, is it like scary sometimes? Like, you know, do you keep like a date just in case? Like, I knew there was a guy that I knew that would keep like one Friday a month. Like, I want to do something. If I either can fix things this day, or I can just find somebody that I'm like, I really like this, so I can throw this early.
So a lot of the times I don't. Like, I work 5 days a week, and most of the time I just have that filled. Yeah. Just 5 to 5 to 5 to 5 to 5. And then in situations like that, so like if I have to cancel for any reason, like kids are sick, I'm sick, like
life happens.
My dad was very sick last year, and I took almost 3 months off. Yeah. Trying to deal with all of that. I'll just come in on my day off. Yeah. Which sucks. Yeah. But it's one of those, you committed to me, and you were going to show up on time. Like, you were going to show up. You held up your end of the bargain. I did not. Yeah. Not entirely my fault. Yeah. But I didn't. So it's my responsibility to ensure you don't have to wait till my next opening 3 months from fucking now.
Especially if you've already waited.
100%, because that's like, people get excited. It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get a new tattoo. You're super excited.
You tell everybody about it.
Yeah, everybody knows.
I'm going to get this tattoo. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this. This guy's really good. I love his work. He's going to kill it. You get there, and then it didn't go the way anybody, you guys were a little bit, the wavelengths were a little bit off. Yeah. There's no such thing as a hive mind. I can't see what's in your brain. You can't see what's in my brain. We think we're talking about the same thing. At the end of the day, I see a dog, you see a cat. It's just turned in, Devon's just head down. You know what I mean? That whole thing.
And that's where, where you told everybody, and then you're like, well, he had to cancel. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he had to cancel.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So it is one of those to where, like, I'll just get people on my day off. Like, I'll work Sunday. Like, there's literally a board. There's like a little paper at Fade that Lindsay's did all of our quotes. So one of our Christmas presents, she got all of our like main quotes printed on the wall. So there's a whole quote wall. And mine is, she asked me why I'm here today, and I said I'm here every day. Like, that's my quote, because I'm there most every day. Yeah. Doing something, working, just getting stuff done in my room, stuff like that. Just because, to me, money is important, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
But I've always found that the money will just appear.
Yeah.
If you do your job, money will appear.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me is making sure the client is happy. Yeah. Making sure it's the best environment for them. Making sure that they're comfortable. Making sure that they're not upset in any realm. Yeah. Because that's kind of my biggest selling point, really. Because when I...
Yeah.
Because because my biggest competition, at least for my clientele, is Bohemian.
Oh, yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Super close, really close with all those guys. But it's one of those situations that we both present the same type of environment. Yeah, definitely. Where it is a private, you're the only person, it's your time sort of environment. So it's like, if I can't compete with that on any level, then I'm fucked, basically. Yeah. And then you have, like, people like yourself that you want it kind of now. Like, you're in the now. So that's people like you will always keep street shops open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always. Street shops will always, because my industry is moving more so to the private.
Yeah.
Custom only, appointment only.
What's the tailored
Yeah.
your feel.
Yeah,
I like
and that's
that.
where people want to. A lot of people want to say they went there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like anything.
More so anything than anything else, everything is an experience.
Yeah.
And if you can make just the simplest thing, so like, not that tattooing is simple in it.
It's not.
It's not.
I don't think.
But it's a whole all around encompassing full atmospherical experience if you can make it that way, right?
100%.
So like with you doing private tattooing more on scale, where it's tailored to, hey, what kind of music would you like to listen to? Would you like anything while we're doing this? Make you feel the most comfortable, sort of thing. I think that in itself, you have your own niche in it, and it's always going to sell too. Like you said, there's always going to be people like me that are just like, fuck it, let's get a tattoo.
100%. And even I get, I mean, I run a private studio, but even I get that way.
Right.
Like, half the time, like, I have tattoos that I want people like Tim and Max to do years down the road, but then there's stuff like, Evan's my best friend over at New Breed.
Yeah.
And there'll be times where I'm like, hey, do you want to tattoo a Viking head on the back of my leg? Like, tonight? He's like, sure.
Let's do it. It's different when you're like, you're in the fraternity. Let's go.
Yeah, it's 100%. And it's one of those, and I hate getting tattooed. I hate the pain. I hate the experience. I hate all of it.
Yeah.
I love doing it. I love having them, but I'm like the most self-proclaimed pansy when it comes to getting tattooed. Like, I literally tried to tattoo myself the other day because I was bored and my appointment had rescheduled. So I put a stencil on, trying to cover up some old tattoos out of my leg, and I did like 6 lines, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do this. Because it's different when you go to someone, they're doing it, there's like an expectation of like, you gotta like sit, stop, like just swallow it, let them get on with it, let them get it done, and then it'll be done, and it'll be cool. When you're sitting there doing it to yourself, you're like,
what are you, a pussy?
Like, you're arguing with yourself, and you're like, oh, the only person that's going to be disappointed that I don't get this done is myself, and I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you also have to, like, when you're doing both aspects, man. You have to, like, you're tattooing yourself, so you have to use your brain your brain's feeling the pain. Your brain's feeling the numbness. Your brain's feeling all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And you're trying to use your brain to also draw and try to say in the lines and make sure you get all the. I feel like that's such a multitasking thing, and humans are not built for multitasking, especially men. I
You can only
like
use one side of your brain at a time.
Yeah.
No, not both.
Yeah, you're lucky if I'm breathing and eting at the same time.
I'm like halfway through this, and I'm sitting here being like coaching myself. It's like, all right, I just gotta do this line. I'm like, well, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, why am I sitting here just punishing myself? Because I really don't care.
You don't have to sit through this. You don't have to do this.
Like, I literally have the word stand on my foot because I was going to put stand on one foot, fast on the other. Did one foot, and that was like 8 years ago. And I just never got around to put the rest of it on there because I don't really care that much.
Yeah. Nice. So now you're just like, stand.
Yeah.
Stand.
It's an ongoing joke now. I just have stand on the foot. Yeah.
That's awesome. I had I know this girl that got like a happy face on her toe, like just like a toe happy face. Those things are so cute, and you're just like, oh, happy face.
That's really good. I just did a tattoo. Like, I'd never tattooed the like bottom of someone's toe with their foot. It's like, I always imagined it would be super painful, and it was actually one of Lindsay's clients. She was getting her dreads done, and I'd had an opening come up, and she was like, hey, she wants to get damn it on her foot for her friend that had passed away. And I was like, okay. I'm thinking like on the side or, on top.
Is that his last name?
No.
Okay.
It was a girl, but it was like their whole thing, and she comes in and she's like super bubbly, like all about it, and I'm like, okay, cool, like a lot high energy.
Yeah.
Super high energy. And she's like, I want to put it like on the bottom of my toe. And I was like, are you sure?
Are you sure? Yeah.
And I tell her, I was like, I can't guarantee it. Like, it's gonna wear, your foot sees so much wear and tear, and I can't. She's like, I don't care, it's cool. So I put the stencil on. I'm like, getting ready to do the line. I'm like, all right, we're gonna start. I'm expecting this foot to like launch either at me, off the table, like. And then she just sits there the whole time, and then we get done, and she's like, yeah, kind of tickled at the end, and I'm like,
You're a monster.
There's something.
I would have kicked somebody.
Yeah.
I would have kicked you.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been crying.
Also, I would have never asked you to tattoo the bottom of my foot, but like, this is just a me thing.
Well, I feel like if you're gonna tattoo the bottom of your foot, it has to be Andy every single time.
Like Andy, yeah.
Like it has to be.
With the N, was the N backwards?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, that one makes sense. I think for me, the Navy kind of got me out of needles because when I was younger, I didn't like the whole. Nobody likes to get a shot, but I didn't like getting shots and stuff from the needles. And then being in the Navy and walking through that line where they're just like pew pew, then you walk to the next line pew pew, and they give you like 5 or 6 shots real quick, and you're like, my life is over. Yeah, and I was only like 19 years old. I'm like, I can't believe I just did all this
is how
shit.
I die.
This is how I die.
Yeah.
And it's like all processing days, and then you get through the processing days, and everybody's a zombie because we all just got hit with like 5 or 6 different shots at the same time. And I'm allergic to penicillin, so they all had to get the peanut butter shot in the ass. Yeah. And I'm allergic, so they gave me erythromycin, and I just take a pill every day, and I'm like, ha motherfuckers. Nice. I have the worst version, but they don't want you to get sick. They give you antibiotics. Like, did they do it to you guys? They gave us preemptive antibiotics. I was like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah. They're just being ready for that.
They never gave us any pills.
Dude, I remember when my dad came home. Like, he was getting ready to go. He was getting ready to go to Saudi, and that's when they were doing the anthrax shot.
Oh yeah, I got that.
He was sick for like 3 fucking weeks.
It's bad.
Like deadly sick. Like puking, throwing up. Just.
I got the all of our parents have that little
circle.
What's it called? Smallpox.
Yeah.
I got that, anthrax, and like 2 others in the same day before I went to Guantanamo, because when you're around those guys, like the prisoners and shit, they've all been exposed, so you could get exposed. So I had to get all that, and I'm like, And the anthrax needle just was bigger than what I wanted a needle to look like.
I never look at needles. I can't. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I can take it, but I just can't look at it. But
Well, I read something a while back that if you just count out loud back from 10, it actually helps because it's like the same part of your brain counting backwards. So I remember I did it one time. I was like, it didn't hurt at all. And she's like, it's not in yet. And I'm like, Basically, that's like, she's killing me. I got better though. Like the funny thing is when I got both the COVID shots, I was like, this was easy. It was afterwards getting sick from it is what fucked me up. I hated that.
See, I've not gotten sick, and I've had the booster. I've had 3 so far. I've never gotten sick.
No.
But like Nicole, like she was sick for a solid week. Like,
I don't know what it is.
Sick for,
it must be. It's all individualistic to the person.
Dude, I'm over it.
I want to get the last booster just because, like, in order to play the Pokemon regional in Indianapolis, you have to have a booster.
Oh shit!
If it's been longer than 6 months since you've got yours,
you can't pull it from your deck.
Apparently you can.
Oh shit, man!
There was a tournament in Ohio that some friends went to, and somebody had a fake card, and they got caught because there's a database. You put the number in, they can see your name. Yeah. So if you have a fake card, they can find out. So like you can't even get away with that.
See, I wondered about that when I got just like this little piece of paper. I'm like,
yeah, what's this gonna do? I'm like, nope, they've got a lot of better systems.
I could just make this myself.
Yeah. That was my girl joked about that. She's like, why don't you just make one for me? I was like, bro, I'm not getting in trouble for doing it.
Right.
Because she's not into it. She doesn't want to do it at all. She's like, she's already had it. I don't think she needs it at this point. She had better antibodies.
I don't know. I got a shot, ended up getting it too. Didn't get a booster or nothing like that.
I went to the doctor, the same people that did my first 2 shots, and I asked them, and they told me, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then now they're saying I have to have it for this regional. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
It was the same for like, I'm going to Greece in August for a wedding.
That's exciting.
And it's like, I'm going to be right before Greece. It'll be my next booster.
Yeah.
To where, like, I'll have to have it.
Yeah.
Because you have to have it.
You have to have a certain amount of time between.
Yeah, before I can,
even travel, right?
Yeah, and you got to have a 24-hour, they have a negative test within 24 hours.
Yeah.
To fly internationally. Like, domestically, it's not an issue.
No, you just
they still want you to have a negative test within 48 hours. But
which is, like, I'm not too worried about that. It's the situation of, like, you think about foreign countries and you're like, I know I can go to CVS, go get a test.
Yeah.
But you're like, if I go to Greece, is there like a guy in a hut on a mountain that like, has the COVID tests?
I think it's one of those weird things that we think of everything. I don't know if it's an American, distinctly American.
Else is a third world.
Exactly. You as an American, I don't know if it's just American or if like you talk to somebody from England and they feel the same way. Or you talk to somebody
do.
From,
what I was gonna say,
is it just us?
Yeah. No, it's honestly like.
What you're originally from England?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I grew up
that's
there.
awesome. I didn't know that. So I'm like,
we ended up there because my dad was Air Force and was
awesome.
stationed over there. My mom's from Dublin, like.
Yeah.
So I lived there till
Sorry,
I was
just
20.
thought that stupid joke. Are you from Ireland?
Yeah.
That's when I see you, my penis be doubling or something like that. You ever heard that? I know you have.
But
Sorry,
it's like I lived there till I was 20. So I went to English
Okay.
schools, all that stuff. And there it is like the ongoing joke that Americans, like the way we see Americans in Europe is that you all think you're better than everybody else.
Yeah.
You drive giant cars. You spend too much money. You eat too much food.
Yeah.
And you think you're better.
Yeah.
That's like the way the world views America.
Yeah.
And then you come here and there's no lie.
No, I honestly feel like I think it's a perspective thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
they don't realize how big America is. They all
had
live
no
in
idea.
tiny little huts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
like,
do.
compared to us. Like
Like-
their countries are babies.
Yeah.
Literally, my people ask me all the time, what was the biggest culture shock? Roads.
Yeah.
Roads, and then I went to Sam's Club the second day I moved here, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different experience
Yeah.
than Europe. It just is.
I don't know how like England is, but like just living in Germany for a little bit of time, shopping at the Real Marts, and that's the closest thing to like a big supermarket or
it's
like
a baby.
multi-layer.
It's like
they're
Kroger.
tiny.
It's like a Kroger to me.
100%.
Well, it's like a kind of like an Aldi's with an upper deck, but like
But it's same with like Tesco's was ours is like our version of Walmart.
Yeah.
And it's like no bigger than the Aldi's here in town.
Yeah. And they don't get. It's one of the things when you say like the bigger cars. That's one of the things they have no idea how much area we have to cover to get places. They don't. They're like so quick and close to everything.
Like if you look at like the Hondas that drive around, Toyota, stuff like that. Like that's what we have. Like we have a lot more Asian cars, European cars, that kind of stuff, and like Honda Civic. Like, that's a normal family car.
Yeah.
Like everybody fits in the fucking thing.
Here you couldn't. Like long trips, you want to be in a Honda Civic driving from here to like, even Louisville.
Chance.
No.
Like I pulled up in my Ford Flex and it's like a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And it's
honestly, I feel like a lot of their perception is they don't understand the size of the landmass we have.
Yeah.
And like we don't understand how small they are because on the map it doesn't look that small, but really there it's a lot tinier than it seems.
Yeah, like you can fit England in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it would hang over a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
but
somebody said it's the same. What is it, the same size as Maine? Like period, like same land mass, almost exactly the same size as Maine. And Maine's not very big.
Yeah,
like all of and it's like it's a perspective thing that people don't get about Americans. I don't necessarily think Americans think they're better than everybody because I've never met anybody who's an American. I guess I have met people. I've met people that apologize for America immediately, and I've met people who are the other way that don't. But I feel like those two dichotomies are like the opposite ends of the polar spectrum.
They're the extremes.
The middle are just people that are like I like where I live, I like my country, but like I don't think it's better than anywhere else.
Right.
Like, you know?
Well, and you can be proud of your nation and proud of your
nationalism is an important thing. Right? Like,
it's
you
real.
can be a proud boy.
Yeah.
and not
be
a proud boy. Yeah.
You can be a proud American and not be like, I'm better than you.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like that was what annoyed me the most about not the most, but many things of 2020 was the fact of like you couldn't be proud to be a citizen without being just immediately lumped into like I went to rallies and protested but like I'm also proud to be American.
Right.
Well, we're both veterans.
We went to rallies and protested
but
we still fought for this country.
We expect better. That's why we went.
Exactly. It was like I had the longest conversation with
a
guy and I was like, he's very conservative, always been very conservative, and he was like, well, how do you feel about it? And I was like, it's not really a race thing for me, as you know, and I know everything as a white male, I can voice all opinions, and all my opinions are correct. 100%.
I mean, that's how it manifests destiny.
Exactly. Right? I mean, privilege is one with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. But it's one of my whole stance was that you're an American citizen, and not only that, you're a human being.
Yeah.
And therefore, you deserve to be treated the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Whether you're a screaming Klansman or a little brown girl that goes to school. Like, I think that's what you're supposed to be treated the same.
You deserve to be treated the way that you present. If you, to me, I feel like everybody should have the right to like be treated the way who they are before, and then we can all make the distinctions after 100%. We know them. 100%. Don't make a distinction or a spur of the moment decision on somebody because you don't know who they are. 100%. If you get to know somebody and they suck, then you can say they suck all day. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like I watched it was. I don't know why. I'm not into true crime stuff at all. But it popped up on my YouTube, and I was watching this video, and it was a black man, and it was like a 25-minute long video, and he was wrongly accused of something, and the guy that was actually did it was a white guy, and he was short, and this guy's like 6'4" and a black guy, and they're like trying to be like, no, we got you on tape doing it, you did it. And I'm like, these cops and the way their interrogation tactics are so fucking weird.
That's not an interrogation. That's just, hey, let me grab.
No, they're allowed to lie.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people don't know that they can lie.
No, we do know. We've been telling them. People about it for years.
People need to know that the cops lie. You should never talk to them, and that's what I think the most important thing is.
Fuck the police, right?
But it was just like so crazy because the guy's like, "What are you talking? I know it wasn't me. You can't convince me." But the problem is there are some people that can be convinced that they did something they didn't do just so they can try to get out of that room. Yeah, and because it's so intense and the anxiety level, and it's like I watched that and I was like, I've seen stuff, you know what I mean? And we went to the rallies. I listened to people talk. I learned a lot that day because to me, like before that, I always felt like Black Lives Matter in general. I always saw it as a group and not an idea. Sure. Once I saw Black Lives Matter as an idea and not like an ideological like group, which is the problem to me because like anytime you have a group, somebody's in charge and that person in charge is usually a piece of shit. Yeah. When you think of it as an idea, then I'm all for it all day.
Yeah.
I'm all for the idea of Black Lives Matter. I'm all idea.
It's kind of the problem, though.
Yeah.
Is that we have to think of it as an idea when it's not necessarily an idea. It's more like an actual implementation.
No, I just mean like not a group. You can't think of it as like a group of people that are like what is it, like got together and decided we are Black Lives Matter. It's not a group. It's when I say an idea, I mean
boardroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I think of it.
What do we think about this?
Yeah.
We think it, we're good?
Hey guys, what do you think about Black Lives
Roll
Matter?
forward with
Stocks are up on Black Lives Matter this week.
Well, that's the thing is too. If it's a group, the group has to be entirely infallible.
Yeah.
You have to be entirely void of any issues, because if there's any closet,
Any flaw.
yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
One person can ruin it for everybody.
and it will undercut the entire movement, which is honestly what happened. Is what a lot of media pushed it to, where you took the small rings of it.
Yeah.
And realistically, honestly, if we ask ourselves the same question, if we had to watch our child get choked to death on Facebook every single day, I'd burn the fucking city to the ground.
Yeah.
Let's be real
quick,
here.
quick.
Let's be real.
Real quick.
But at the same time, they were able
Pretty
to
sure
just
I said this
focus.
too.
Yeah, they focused on the parts of destruction
Yeah.
rather than the message of.
Like,
If you're
gross.
honestly saying that you don't feel that black people are being treated differently by both the banks, by the cops, by schools, if you don't think they're being treated differently than, say, myself, you're lying to yourself.
Or that you don't know black people at all.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is talk to one black person.
Like,
One.
I was
Any
born
one.
with
Just find a
privilege.
black guy and ask him. And they'll tell you, or a black girl, or anybody, and they'll explain to you the difference, and you'll learn really quickly. Because if you, all you need to do, I feel like a lot of these people that are super ridiculous with this, all they need is one black friend, just one black friend that isn't like
That will actually put it into perspective for them.
that isn't a
Explain
UT
to you.
though.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is you got a lot of those UTs out there. And I'm not picking on anybody. You can feel however you feel, but like Candace Owens does not speak for all black people. Like I'm sick of seeing that. I hate when they're like, I saw Larry Elder, and I'm like, I don't. He can have his opinions. He's allowed to. I don't have any issue with him being a black man having his opinions. But like, you need to talk to a person like near you, like in your proximity.
Someone that can give you actual perspective. Like, that's Brent, I would say, has been probably the most informative person for me. Like, growing up in England, there are black people, but they're not as common as they are here. Yeah. It's a lot more smaller dynamic. Like, when I went to high school, there was one black guy.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But getting to know Brent and being around him and talking to him and talking to him about his experiences.
Yeah.
And giving me landmarks. Like, I was on Foster and this happened. I was at Highland Park and this happened.
It takes the scope from this to this.
Yeah.
Really quick.
100%. And then I'm like, okay, well, that actually makes sense. And I would say probably the most informative protest that I went to during the Black Lives Matter movement was the one that was held at Foster Park.
Yeah.
Not the first one, the second one, where it was the preachers had come together. That was the most informative for me.
Yeah. Did you see the girl get hit?
No.
He came to he was talking about the rally.
The rally. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't know that. I don't think I went to the rally.
The rally was...
You were there.
The rally was great.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and it was great in the sense of, like, there was definitely anger. There were people are angry.
I remember at the time of the rally, I was a little bit less into it because it wasn't like it wasn't for me anyway. It wasn't like something I just was there to be a part of, to like, you know, obviously show support. But like I felt like that was a little bit like a lot of the younger black people that I talked to at the things felt like it was their movement was being hijacked by the elders in the community that wanted to like
that's what
water it down with a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I said on camera like this is just like. They just bring in the Black Church Coalition to be like, oh, okay, everything's fine now.
Yeah, we're gonna fix. We
That's not how
are
shit
working
works.
with the city. Like, who
No,
said that
not.
you're in charge?
Nah, man. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, sometimes y'all are the problem in the first place.
Yeah.
Because y'all are the ones directly getting paid by these city officials that say
Yep.
they're doing things, and they're not actually doing things for the
Yeah.
black community. They're doing things for your church.
Or you.
Yeah.
Your people, and it's like we're talking about in general. It's a general thing, and you're making it specific.
The whole broad scope of shit. So
Yeah, and over there, Tyler Moore's over there code switching. Remember we were talking about him code switching the whole time. Well, we didn't get to a few things, but I'm happy because we talked about a lot of good stuff today, dude.
This is absolutely.
You got to come on
fun.
again.
Yes, I'm
You
totally
really
down.
do.
This
We
was
had a
super
great
fun.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make an appointment with you. I really want to. I'm gonna check out your work. I didn't want to check it out because I wanted to know you first before I looked at your work.
Yeah.
And now that I've met you, I'm like, this guy's really great. I can't wait to go in there. Check him out at Lucky Raven.
Yep.
It's in Fade Salon.
Yep.
It's a back room. It's private. It's tailored to your experience. he seems like a great guy, great artist, and
Thank you.
being around you, you're a very smart guy. I love that because you sometimes meet people that are so one-track mind they don't think about a lot of things, and you're very cultured. You've lived somewhere else. We talk all the time about we've lived somewhere else, and some people haven't.
It's super fun.
We had a great time having you on. So we got Lucky Raven Tattoo. Anything else you want to plug?
Probably just my Instagram. Just
check it
Devon
out.
Tattoo, DevonTatoo Instagram.
That's a good one.
Easy.
And that
You
will
got your name and the tattoo together?
Yep. Gets every. I don't know. I got that Gmail years ago.
Oh,
and I have
nice.
never changed it.
Even working.
Oh, I will never lose that Gmail.
That's perfect, dude. I love that.
But yeah, you can just check all my stuff out on there. It has all my newest stuff as well.
There you
So
go.
people to go there.
Do you have a favorite? Anybody can look at what's your favorite piece that you've done?
So I would say my favorite piece I ever did was, it's the largest piece I ever did.
Uh-huh.
It's got 50 hours put into it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was a big Viking back piece on this guy. And this guy, I call him Hodor.
Yeah.
And he's
Like a big old
6'4",
Yeah.
like 300, 400 pound dude, like ginormous human being.
Yeah.
And we put about 50 hours in it. It's got a big Viking on the front, riding on the long ship, with a burning castle in the background.
He paid for the flex.
Yeah, he definitely left a lot with me.
Yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
But he was a super cool client too.
Yeah.
That was the fun part. Is like, it wasn't just that the piece was really fun.
Yeah.
It was like the dynamic of him. It was one of those, like, we'd put music on but really low and just talk.
Yeah.
the entire
Well, I
time.
think a 50-hour tattoo and something that big and massive, if you don't like each other, that would be the most awkward room ever.
Oh.
So
Unless you're
yeah.
Post Malone and you get put under, right? Like,
There's like a little
Sore
part
subject?
of
No.
a little part of me was like, don't get me wrong, like, I use numbing cream when I get tattooed.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not like, the pain, you don't have to fucking feel it.
Yeah.
But you're also doing like the most at that situation.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that and I was like, pussy.
Honestly, admittedly, like, that was my first response. At first, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I want that money to where I can just say, I don't want to feel this today.
Right.
Like,
God.
like, how do you do that? And that's the other, like, celebrity tattoos is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you have that much fucking money
Nice.
and they all suck?
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, why do
Yeah,
they suck that bad?
Yeah, dude, picking the weirdest people to do it.
Yeah, and then you got like a Chrysler employee that, you know, he's banking like $50,000-$60,000 a year that walks around with shit that's like 1,000 times better
Beautiful.
than 90% of the
Absolutely.
fucking celebrities out there.
It's insane. Well, it's carrying about, and we also do have, honestly, Kokomo. People don't realize how good we have it here. We have a great ecosystem for like artists and everything.
Yeah.
There are so many really talented people in this town that nobody realizes. We got less than 50,000 people in this town.
Yeah.
And we've got, I mean, between you, we've got the guys at Bohemian.
Bohemian.
We've got people that are like Kelly McKinney just put out a whole ass movie. Check that
Yes.
out. Like,
Yeah.
we've got people
Yeah.
doing things. Like, we got bands dropping music. We've got like artists. We have that rap battle, the Rhyme Fest.
Yeah, we had Raw Talent Battle League.
Raw Talent. that's
They
right.
just had their rap battle over the weekend.
Yeah,
we
nice.
have new AACW wrestling coming in the
I
next
was gonna
couple
ask you to
months.
plug
We
that.
have all sorts of things, and again, this is why we're here at the Kokomo Press, is to bring you these things, to try to bring you artists like this, to
Yep.
try to show you that like Kokomo's not fucking boring, and like we're a
Kokomo is exceptional compared to
Yeah.
most places. I honestly
Yeah.
would say that. We've been around.
Yeah.
We've been around, and I'll tell you, this is a great town.
Absolutely.
A lot
We're
of
a palette full of color, and I don't know, I think that's our episode, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we are a palette. I like that. I'm Jordan Granger. Thank you guys. We got us.
Devon Wooldridge.
Yeah.
Jordan Bell. Too sweet, y'all.
Kisses. Bye. Hey, thanks for checking out the Kokomo Press podcast. I'm Jordan Granger. Jordan and I are very happy that you guys tuned in. All of our links are available. We've got YouTube, that's right here. We've got our Twitters. I'm going to put those right over here. And then we've even got like Patreon. We've got Facebook. We've got Instagram. We've got all the places. So please check us out. And merch. We have merch. Check out our merch. Oh my God. We have merch. So if you love the Kokomo Press, you enjoy the Kokomo Press podcast, or you just want to, help out and do something with us, check out the Kokomo Press on merch on ProWrestlingTees.com. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on all the places that we have available. Thank you for listening to the show. We love you. What's up? It's the Kokomo. Oh, let me start again. I already fucked it up.